Corruption is a global phenomenon found in all countries, but evidence shows it harms poor people more. Corruption stifles economic growth and diverts desperately needed funds from education, healthcare, and other public services. It can take many forms and can include behaviors like demanding or taking money or favors in exchange for services, misusing public money, or granting public jobs or contract to sponsors, friends, and families, corporations bribing officials to get lucrative deals, engaging in cybercrime, getting involved in laundering of money, terrorism financing, and so many other things. Corruption, when undetected and unchecked, especially in the public sector, can cause serious damage, which includes undermining public trust in government, wasting public resources and money, causing injustice through giving undue advantage to some people at the expense of others. You see, these are just some of the reasons we have to come together and salvage Nigeria from the bane of corruption. It's another episode of The Eagle. Aisha Muhammad is my name. Welcome to the program. Summarizing the need for collective action in the fight against corruption, the United Nations in 2018 noted that collective action is a collaborative and sustained process of cooperation between stakeholders. This increases the impact and credibility of individual action, bring vulnerable individual players into an alliance of like-minded organizations, and levels the playing field between competitors. Collective action can complement or temporarily substitute for and strengthen weak local laws and anti-corruption practices. This is why the EFCC is always open and ready to collaborate with stakeholders and interested bodies in working towards eradicating corruption or bringing it to its barest minimum. In this next report, Abbas Abubakar Umar will tell us about some collaborative efforts between the EFCC and other sister agencies. Over to you, Abbas.
The president of the Chartered Institute of Forensics and Certified Fraud Investigators of Nigeria, CIFFIN, Ilyas Ugashimbaki, has commended the executive chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, on his strides in turning around the works of fighting economic and financial crimes and other acts of corruption in Nigeria. He gave the commendation in Abuja while on a courtesy visit to the corporate headquarters of the EFCC. According to Gashimbaki, the EFCC has started witnessing quite transformation since the assumption of office of Olukoyede. He promised the collaboration of his institute with the Commission in breaking more useful grounds in its assigned mandate. He gave detailed account of the mandate and structure of CIFFIN and called for formalization of the domiciliation of the Institute's college at the EFCC's academy.
On behalf of the Governing Council of the Institute, we bring you facilitations and greetings and best wishes for the assumption of office, and to also commend you for the successes recorded so far since the assumption of office. And I'm saying this with all sense of responsibility because I'm part of the House, and therefore I'm privileged to know the quiet transformation that is already happening in the Commission.
He spoke of the plans of CIFFIN to build 5 forensics laboratories comprising digital document engineering, medical and ballistics, and crime scene laboratories, and called for support of the EFCC in the overall works of the Institute. On the proposed documents laboratory, Gashimbaki expressed hope that the EFCC and the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) will find it useful in dealing with investigation of forged documents by politicians seeking elective offices.
Chairman, sir, in view of the fact that EFCC is the #1 agency that gave us the support, even pre-charter, gave us access to facility for all our programs. Over time, we have trained so many people among the law enforcement community, including the NSS office, the police, the ICPC. EFCC, we have trained several. For that reason, we are requesting the chairman to kindly also approve that the cadet entry level into the commission, we work together in such a way that upon graduation, they will also be admitted as associates of the institute. And that lays the foundation of their ascension into professionalizing into the various areas that they will wish to do. What that does.
Responding, Olukoide appreciated Gashimbaki for his visit and called for a more holistic scope of works of SIFIN. He said that a wider scope that goes beyond fraud investigation to management will be good for SIFIN. He explained the new policy direction of the EFCC and stressed that his focus was on preventive framework in the fight against corruption. Olukoide assured that the Commission will formalize domiciliation of SIFIN College in the EFCC's academy because it will add value to the academy.
And so we are adding policy review to the work we do. You know, we don't just investigate, prosecute, but how did the violation occur, and what can the government do to mitigate or to eradicate the reoccurrence of such things? That is part of our responsibilities. That actually comes under prevention, which we are doing. It's something that's similar to the system study review that ICPC does, but our own, we are taking it beyond that. So I also want you to look at that critically from that perspective. The establishment of your college is quite interesting. Of course, I wouldn't have any reason not to support you in that area. So you said you have brought the letter. They're going to formalize the relationship, since you said my predecessor had opened the chapter. It's a thing that will also add value to our own academy.
The EFCC boss also assured that the EFCC is willing to share intelligence with SIFIN and look forward to a mutually beneficial relationship with the institute. The Community Development Committee (CDC) of Niger Delta oil and gas producing areas have called for a more direct intervention of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) in tackling the scourge of crude oil theft and pipeline vandalism in the Niger Delta region. The group made the call when its board of trustees, led by the chairman Joseph Ambake Derimo, paid a courtesy visit to the executive chairman of the EFCC, Ola Olukoide, at the corporate headquarters of the commission. Ambake Derimo noted that oil theft in the Niger Delta has caused huge disruption to the country's economic forecasts and negatively impacted the national economy. He said that oil theft and vandalization of oil infrastructure are issues of economic sabotage and a threat to national security, stressing that the EFCC is empowered by law to deal with economic saboteurs. As such, they are at the Commission to urge it to give it adequate attention to this threat to the environment in the Niger Delta and the economic sabotage of the country by adopting preventive measures and diligent prosecution of culprits. He decried the involvement of oil-producing communities in oil theft, stating that the National Conference may be needed to address the issue. Ambake Derimo further noted that the complicity and conspiracy of silence by well-meaning individuals is even more troubling, as this menace at some point affects everyone, and therefore there is the need to advocate for a more robust national discourse on this essential threat of our time.
Mr. Chairman, the organization, the EFCC, is empowered by law to deal with economic saboteurs. We urge you, therefore, to give adequate attention to this threat to our environment in the Niger Delta and the economic sabotage of our country by adopting preventive measures and diligent prosecution of culprits. These are terrible human beings who must be destroyed before they destroy us all in their quest for filth of luck.
Responding, the EFCC boss, who spoke through the Commission Secretary Muhammad Hamajoda, praised the initiative of the group and assured the delegation of the Commission's collaboration with all relevant agencies of government and non-state actors to bring the menace of crude oil theft and pipeline vandalism to an end. He stated that the engagement towards finding a solution to the scourge of oil theft and vandalization of oil and gas infrastructure in the Niger Delta region is very important. He stressed that apart from the fact that oil theft has made it difficult over the years for Nigeria to meet up with OPEC production quota and by extension diminish the revenue the country ought to make from crude oil sales for national development, the menace often comes with the evil of pipeline vandalism, which in several cases leaves a huge toll of environmental pollution, manifesting in the destruction of marine economy, farmlands, and everything in the ecosystem, including human lives. Olukoyede further stated that arresting the tide of oil theft is at the core of what the Commission does in nearly all the zonal commands in the southern part of the country, particularly in the Niger Delta.
In our day-to-day briefing, we will come up with a template we can mitigate this kind of challenges. That's why the Commission brought its office at this doorstep of the Niger Delta region, so that we can see how we can navigate. You don't need to come to Abuja to bring all these issues. From our backward command, we can pick it up and then we move. So they are very much welcome.
He assured the CDC that the Commission will collaborate with them for the sake of Nigeria, our generation and posterity.
Corruption must to decrease. This is a canker-worm disease. When our people go live in peace, when all this nyama go cease, I can look back when I
see. Now here they work, and I here at the chop. Sometimes this my work, it is very tough, and things go just rough. But that one don't mean say I go put my hand inside bad things now. I know say if I put my mind to do this work well, I know say I go make am. I don't need put my hand inside bad things. I be mechanical, I dey hustle, and I dey legit.
Ni mai sai da kifi ne, ina jajircewa akan nema, ina sana'ata na gaskiya.
I be a stylist, mu dey legit.
I'm selling phone accessory, I dey hustle, and I dey legit.
I'm a sound engineer, I dey hustle, and I dey legit.
I'm a tailor, I dey hustle, and I dey legit.
I'm a barber, I dey hustle, and I dey legit.
I'm a painter, I dey hustle, I dey legit.
I'm a fashion designer, I dey hustle, and I dey legit.
Be proud of your hustle. Be legit. Say no to cybercrime.
This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
Next on the program is court updates and conviction update.
The second prosecution witness, PW2, in the ongoing trial of former governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN Godwin Emefiele, Boss Gida Mustafa, has told Justice Hamza Muazu of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT High Court Maitama, Abuja, that neither former President Muhammadu Buhari nor himself had raised a memo directing the Apex Bank to pay the sum of $6,230,000 in cash to international election observers in the last 2023 general election. Mustafa told the court that he never came across anything about the transaction while he was serving as the secretary to the government of the Federation until he left office. He said all through his years in service, his capacity as SGF, he never came across such a document and has served for 5 years, 7 months, and he can state that the document did not emanate from the office of the president. Continuing, Mustafa faulted the correspondence Emefiele claimed came from the president's office with a reference number. He pointed out that once a correspondence has the president's seal, there will be no need for a reference number because the seal is the authority. He stressed that he was the custodian of all records, therefore the president cannot give him the records, and in all his years in service, he has never had the term special appropriation provision that is referred to in the document. He stated that in all correspondence he has received from his principal, it has never ended with "please accept the assurance of my highest regard," as he is a subordinate, so nothing of such would emanate. And lastly, he stressed that the Nigerian government has nothing to do with financing foreign observers, as he knows for a fact because he managed 2 elections, so the responsibility of such lies with INEC. Asked by the prosecution counsel Rotimi Oyedepo SAN in respect of Exhibit PD7, which states that it was 187th Federal Executive Council meetings that held in 18 January 2023, Mustafa affirmed that a fake meeting held, but it was not 187th session, but rather first meeting of the year because it was January. Asked whether the letter for approval of the money emanated from his office, Mustafa denied any knowledge regarding it. Mustafa stated that the letter did not emanate from his office, not to talk of signing it, as he was not privy to the operations of CBN, so he cannot write to the governor or the director. Secondly, the heading is defective because it reads "Ref" for election observers. It is presumed that there were previous correspondences when you say "Ref", so it is not true because it does not carry any FEC approval. And finally, there was a reference at the end of the letter. Mustafa further told the court that he was not aware of any special task force and had no idea who Jibril Abubakar is, had never met him, nor did he ever work for him. While on cross-examination, Matthew Booker SAN asked whether Mustafa received any amount from the money. He said he did not receive a single dollar when he was serving and when he left office. He further said that he knew about the scandal on social media when it was stated that the defendant and himself connived to steal the huge amount of money, and for him to protect and redeem his image and integrity before the world, he then made a press release exonerating himself and at the same time encouraged further investigation on getting to the root of the matter. After his testimony, Justice Maazu adjourned the matter till 7th, 11th and 25th March 2024 for continuation of trial. Justice Umar Fadau of the Borno State High Court sitting in Maiduguri has convicted and sentenced the trial of Aisha Alkali Wakili aka Mama Boko Haram, Tahir Saidu Daura and Prince Lawal Soyade to 10 years imprisonment. The defendants were jailed upon being arraigned by the Maiduguri Zonal Command of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC on Thursday, March 5, 2020 on a 2-count charge bordering on conspiracy and obtaining by false pretense to the tune of 40 million naira. The defendants had pleaded not guilty when the charges were read to them. Counsel for the prosecution, A.I. Aroga, presented 4 witnesses and tendered 17 exhibits before the court. Consequently, Justice Fadau convicted and sentenced them to 10 years imprisonment for the offense of conspiracy. The court further sentenced the defendants to 10 years imprisonment for the offense of obtaining by false pretense and ordered them to jointly and severally pay the sum of 40 million to Bashir Muhammad. The judge said the prison term shall run concurrently on the expiration of all prison terms imposed on the convict by any court. The convict's journey to the correctional center began when a petitioner alleged that they swindled him through a purported contract for the supply of 5 X-ray machine 1,900 with solar energy to a non-governmental organization, NGO, Complete Care and Aid Foundation, worth 40 million naira. They neither supplied the machines nor returned the contract sum to the petitioner. Abbas Abubakar Umar reporting.
The prevention mandate of the EFCC continues to wax stronger as the Commission devises more ways of reaching you with its anti-corruption messages. The EFCC has reached another milestone in its anti-corruption campaigns by establishing its radio station, EFCC Radio 97.3 FM, Voices Against Economic and Financial Crimes. The radio station, which covers Abuja and its environs, will personally speak to you through very interesting programs and good music. Don't miss out on any minute of the station's broadcast, and you would be glad you're a part of the broadcast that day. EFCC Radio 97.3 FM, Voices Against Economic and Financial Crimes.
Yawa Alhaji, yanzu ka zagaya ka ga motocin nan guda uku, kuma guda ukun kake so? Guda uku nake so. To sai maganan biya. Yanzu biya da mu na zo da kuɗi na kashi don in biya ga wani ga Abbas. Abbas ya dakata. Saboda me? Saboda akwai doka. Wace doka ne wannan? Sashen yaƙi da ayyukan magudi da mu'amala da kuɗaɗen haram, wato SCUM, da ke karkashin hukumar EFCC. Ita ce ta ce duk mutum ɗaya in zai yi mu'amala na ciniki da wuce naira miliyan 5 sai a banki. In kamfani ne, ta haramta mu kamfani ya gudanar da harkan da ta wuce miliyan 10 in dai maganan kashi ne, sai dai a banki. To, da ban sani ba, amma yanzu da kai min bayani zan je banki in saka ma kuɗi in zo ɗauki motoci na. Ba shi kenan yayi. Idan muka karya doka kuma za mu biya taron naira 250 cur akan kowane laifi. Bugu da ƙari a soke lasisin mu kwata-kwata. Idan dai kunne ya ji, gangan jiki ya tsira. Wannan sako ne daga hukumar EFCC.
And that's how we end today's episode of The Eagle. Until we come your way again, keep sending in your messages, inquiries and suggestions to info@efcc.gov.ng. You can also call us on 0809 3322 644. Don't forget to use the EFCC mobile app, The Eagle Eye, to report any fraud you see happening around you. You download the app, you follow the steps and report fraud on the go. And you can also take pictures of corrupt practices and upload them. Also remember to join us every Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. on our web-based town hall meeting called EFCC Connect, where we answer your questions and note your observations of the anti-corruption fight in order to serve you better. And also listen to EFCC Radio 97.3 FM, the Voices Against Economic and Financial Crimes. I am Aisha Muhammad, leaving you with this parting words that says, if everyone is moving forward together, then success takes care of itself. There is also another saying that says, individually we're one drop, but together we are an ocean. We all can see how important it is to work together. For us to have a better Nigeria, we all must work together and collectively to rid the country of corruption. Let's be patriotic and do the right thing always. Goodbye. God bless Nigeria. Please do stay safe, be kind to yourself and to others around you, and do enjoy the rest of the week.